Choose an inside corner as a starting point. The starting and ending point, or kill point, should be the most inconspicuous corner, usually above the entrance door. Prior to installing murals, wallpaper, or borders, always inspect the material to make sure it is what you have ordered. If you have multiple packages, make sure the pattern number and run number are the same on each roll or segment. First, measure the width of the roll. Measure from the corner out on the wall the width of the wallpaper and make a small pencil mark. Continue around the room marking off the width. This will let you know where your seams will fall. If you find that a seam will fall 1/4 of an inch away from an inside corner, then instead of starting the installation with a full sheet from the corner, try starting with a half sheet or 3/4 of a sheet. This is called laying out or engineering the room. You can't make the wallpaper seams fall conveniently all around the room, but you can make some adjustments to help in a few situations. Once you have determined the width of the sheet you will start with, measure the distance from your starting point, which is the inside corner, out onto the wall in 3 places, at the ceiling line, the middle, and bottom of the wall. Place a small pencil mark at all 3 places. Most likely, the corner will not be square. You will get 3 different marks. Take the farthest mark, and using your level, draw a vertical line from the ceiling to the floor. This will be your plumb line. Take a measure from the ceiling to the floor. This will be the length of your sheets. Unroll the wallpaper and find where the pattern repeats itself. The distance between 2 of the same patterns is called the pattern repeat. You should measure and know the pattern repeat distance. Now check what kind of pattern match you have. There are 3 types of pattern matches. 1. A straight match. The same pattern will be at the same place on all the sheets as the first. All the sheets will be cut the same with the same pattern. 2. A drop match. A drop match, or half drop, means you find a pattern for the ceiling line and cut the first sheet. Then you measure half the distance of the pattern repeat, and that will be the ceiling line for the next sheet. The third sheet will match the first sheet, and the fourth sheet will match the second. Think of hanging it as an A sheet and B sheet, and then alternating. 3. A random match. There is really no pattern repeat. Stripes are a good example of a random pattern match. It doesn't matter where you cut your sheets, as long as they are long enough. Sometimes the label will tell you what type of match the pattern is, but always double check it yourself. For this installation, we will be using a straight match. Find a pattern you want to put at the ceiling line. Add 2 inches at the top and cut your sheet to your wall height, adding 2 inches at the bottom as well. This will give you some play should your room not be square. Cut 3 sheets and lay them face down on your table with the top near your paste or water bucket. If the paper is pre-pasted, fill your 5-gallon bucket with lukewarm water. If the wallpaper is unpasted, you will need to buy a good premixed wallpaper adhesive such as Romans 880. Follow the instructions on the adhesive. The pasting method is the same with either pre-pasted or unpasted paper. Dip your roller into either the water or the paste. Let the excess drip off into the bucket and apply a thin, even coat onto the back of the wallpaper. Hold the wallpaper with your free hand to keep it from sliding around or wrapping itself around the roller. Roll up and down and from the middle out to the edges. Avoid rolling from edges into the middle. Make sure all edges are well coated. After wetting or pasting the sheet, fold the paper in half and pull any remaining length up onto the table and repeat the pasting method. Fold the smaller length in half as well. You should have a long fold and a short fold. The top edge of the sheet should meet the bottom edge. Roll the sheet up loosely and place it in a plastic bag to relax or book. Wait for 3 minutes for pre-pasted paper and up to 5 minutes for unpasted paper. Adjust your paste or water as needed. After booking, take the wallpaper to the wall and unroll it, but don't unfold it until you are on the ladder and ready to position it on the wall. Have your tools with you. When you unroll the paper, find the long fold. This should be the top of your paper. Face this towards you. Place your hands on either side of the sheet and let it gently fall on top of your ladder or floor. You may have to shake out the paper or pull the paper apart. Do so gently. Never let the sheet fall heavily or it could rip or tear. Once the sheet is open, place the pattern you selected at the ceiling line. Using your hands, lightly smooth the paper onto the wall, placing it on your plumb line. You may find the sheet does not touch the inside corner. Simply slide the sheet back so it at least touches the corner from top to bottom. It is okay if the sheet goes into the corner more in some places than others. Your paper can be away from the plumb line, but you just have to stay the same distance away from the entire edge of the paper. You may also find that you have covered the plumb line. This is okay. Just keep the sheet the same distance all the way up and down the wall. Once the paper is lined up, use your plastic smoother and lightly smooth the paper to the wall going from top to bottom. Avoid stretching the paper by using excessive force or going across the face side to side. Avoid overworking the edges. Gently crease the paper into the ceiling. Using a snap knife or razor blade, cut against the taping knife, using the edge as a trim guide. Remove excess paper. Do the same for the inside corner and the baseboard or floor. Use a new blade to avoid tearing or shredding the paper. Wash paper with a damp, clean sponge and dry with a lint-free cloth. Make sure you remove excess paste from ceiling and moldings. Take your level and finding a pattern near the edge of the paper at eye level, draw a light pencil line the width of the wall. This is your level line. You can place the same pattern from every sheet on that line to keep your pattern even around the room. You will need to draw a level line when you go above doors and windows and below windows as well. This will keep your pattern even on both sides. Match the pattern and slide the sheet so the edges butt tightly together. Smooth the paper down with your hands. When coming to an outside corner, always try to wrap with one sheet. Take your seam roller and run it up and down gently on the seam to secure the edges. Smooth down the sheet with a plastic smoother as you did before. Trim off excess at top and bottom. Wash sheet and dry. Take care not to wash paste out of the seam area. Repeat this process with the rest of the paper. We recommend only cutting 3 to 4 sheets ahead. On the last sheet before an inside corner, you will need to take 3 measurements as you did on the first sheet, at the ceiling line, middle, and bottom, but these will be from the edge of the sheet into the corner. The corner probably will not be square. Take the furthest measurement and add 1/8 of an inch to it. This will allow overlap into the corner and onto the adjoining wall. Go to your work table and find the edge that will butt into the last sheet hung. Put that edge towards you and flip the sheet face down on the table. Measure from that edge into the sheet the same distance you just measured on the wall, including the 1/8 inch added. Place your level onto the sheet at the distance. You may have to remeasure from the level to the edge several times and in several places to make sure you are even. Hold the level with your off hand. With a single edge razor or snap knife, press the blade against the level and cut the paper, running the blade along the edge of the level. If using a razor blade, hold it between your thumb and forefinger. Move your hand, holding the next spot down before you slide the blade along. Cut slowly and carefully. Don't use excessive pressure and always use a new blade. Paste the piece of wallpaper and allow it to book. While it is booking, measure from the inside corner onto the adjoining wall the width of the piece of wallpaper from the sheet you just trimmed. Using your level, make a pencil line from ceiling to baseboard. That's your next plumb line. Hang your first piece of wallpaper into the corner. After pasting and booking, place the other half of the sheet on your plumb line and slide it back into the corner, just like you did the first sheet. You may lose some pattern because the corner is out of square. Continue on in this manner around the room. When your sheet falls up against a door or window, lightly tuck the sheet into the crease of the frame with your plastic smoother. At the top of the door, or top and bottom of a window, find the point where the side and top or bottom of the frame meet. At this point, take your razor blade or snap knife and make a cut from the point towards the door or window opening. Pull the paper away from the woodwork so you don't cut it. This is called a relief cut. You are relieving the tension in the paper and will now be able to tuck the paper onto the top of the door frame and top and bottom of the window. Trim off excess using the taping knife as before. Always put the taping knife against the paper when you trim to protect the paper. Find the pattern at the top or bottom of the door or window and make a level line across. This will help your pattern stay horizontally straight when you hang the sheet on the other side of the frame. Always wash with a damp, clean sponge and dry with a lint-free cloth. To clean borders, murals, wallpaper, and cutouts, use warm water and a mild dish detergent. Never use harsh chemicals or abrasive cleaners. Always test a small area first. Dry with a lint-free cloth.